Hello, welcome to the 6th week of our course on Marketing Management Part 2, the advanced concepts of marketing, and this is our opening session of the 6th week. As you would recall that while in the first part, that is MM1, which preceded this course, we had introduced to you the basic concepts, techniques and tools related to marketing. In this part, MM2, we are discussing the various elements of what we call the marketing mix. What it means by mix is a mix of different strategic elements that guide us to deploy our sales and marketing resources properly in consonance with the overall strategic objectives of the organization. In the beginning, during the first 2 weeks of this course, this MM2, we discussed different aspects relating to the first element of marketing mix, which we call the product. A variant of this, that means services, we will discuss towards the end of the course to look at the different distinctive alternatives of services with respect to products. After that, we related the whole discussion on brands during the 3rd week and the 4th week, which is kind of an advanced concept basket related to products. So, products and brands we discussed in the first month, first 4 weeks. In the 5th week, you have already gone through the discussion on pricing, the second element of the marketing mix, or what we call the second P. We call them the 4 P's of marketing, primarily because product, price, place and promotion. These are the 4 core aspects for deployment of marketing strategy. So, this week we start with the concept of the 3rd P, place. Place means a place where the customer, the consumer can access your products or services. So, academically or in marketing terms, we also call this aspect of discussion on place as discussion on marketing channels or distribution or channels of distribution, where we combine the two. So, channels of distribution fundamentally means that customers must have access to your products or service to be able to purchase it, and therefore, you have to create a system of distribution, availability of your products and services at multiple touch points, so that efficiently, easily customers can access your products or services. So, as you see, one key aspect of distribution channel is to enhance customers' ease of access, or in other words, enhance the availability of your products and services across geographies, across time slots and so on. So, importance of channels of distribution are several. Fundamentally, as we will see, and we will go in a little depth of on this issue, that channels, distribution points, a network of distribution are all designed ultimately to reduce the transaction cost. Transaction cost for the producer or for the marketer, as well as transaction cost of access for the consumer. This cost can be direct monetary costs. Also this cost can have elements like time, convenience, etc. So this physical aspect of the distribution, availability at different geographical points, will apply to products as well as to services. For example, if McDonald's or Subway or KFC or Domino's, they want to serve a very large market, they have to be available easily to a large number of customers, which means they have to have number of outlets where their good service combinations, food and beverage services will be available. So this physical distribution sometimes is also called logistics, and the logistics, as you would therefore understand, can connote the supply side of the business. So there, that is what we call supply chain management or incoming logistics management, and it is equally important to look at the delivery side of the chain, of the value chain, and this delivery side is the distribution chain, and that is the topic for our discussion. We are focusing therefore on output side logistics and not exactly the input side, but of course later on we will see that for in today's operation we need to think of this whole value chain as a total system. So there are a lot of correlations necessary between the output delivery chain with the input supply chain. But let us look at this whole issue of what we mean by value chain or value added chain. So as you see, there are suppliers on the supply side who supply components, subsystems, consumables and all other required elements for the manufacturing and the operation to the firm. And the firm then, after operations, after internal value addition and conversion of the input material subsystems into the final product or product and service combination, then reach ultimately the customer through channels. And as the diagram shows on your screen, the channels can have, here we are showing 2 stages, but there can be multiple stages as you will see. Now this channel and the reach, that means what sort of customers, how many customers you can reach out to, is a very important part of the valuation of the whole organization. Here is a set of facts that in 1993 Quaker Oats, which is a breakfast cereal, a very old established respected brand, was purchased for $1.7 billion for this product Snapple. So Snapple, which is a breakfast sort of juice, which is a derivative of apple juice. So, Snapple was purchased by Quaker Oats because it goes with their other breakfast cereal items for 1.7 billion. Snapple was sold in 1997, that means just 4 years later, to a different company called Triac Beverages for 300 million. Look at the drop from 1.7 billion to 300 million. 1993 to 1997, so much of value erosion. But very interestingly, in 2000, that means just 3 years later, Triarch sold Snapple for $1 billion to Cadbury Schweppes. You see, from 300 million rise to again 100 billion, 1 billion. And if you go through the history of this case or this change of hands for the brand Snapple, product basket Snapple, you will find that the distribution played a crucial part in this increase in the brand value from 300 million to 1 billion, almost more than 3 times. So, the valuation of companies like ITC or HUL in India are at the top. They are one of the most, they are definitely always come among the top 10 most valuable companies in India. And a key reason for their high valuation is their distribution reach. ITC products, HUL products are available in hundreds of thousands of small villages across India. They reach out to the deep mountains, to the small coastal villages, to small hamlets inside forest lands. Tremendous network to reach out to the customer, to make their products available from large superstores to small roadside shops. This network, this delivery chain is therefore definitely a key element for value creation. As I was discussing about HUL or P&G or Domino's or McDonald's or ITC, you would realize that these channel partners, marketing channel partners, are not always called distributors. They are called by various other names like middlemen, merchant middlemen, agents, wholesalers, brokers, manufacturers agents, distributors, facilitating agents and so on, by various names. These names connote different types of functions performed by the intermediary at different levels for different value bundles. And these channel partners often form a multi-tier network, something that looks like this. So, if you see here, here is the manufacturer. In some cases, the manufacturer will directly go to the retailer and reach the household customers. So, large retailers like say Big Bazaar or Reliance Fresh or so many others, they are large format outlets and they reach a large number of customers. So, in a way they are very large buyers and manufacturers therefore deal with them directly. So, this is one type of channel. This is a large retailer or a supermarket chain, usually they are national chains or at least a dominant regional chain. So, like they can be Spencer's, which is more concentrated in certain regions where they are very strong, or they can be like Big Bazaar with a much wider network, or they can be like Shopper Stop with exclusive stores at various places, and they all deal with the manufacturers directly. So, products which are more convenience products or staple products like soaps or detergents or house cleaning products, personal care products, groceries, very often travel through this chain and reach the end customer. But many of those same products, before the appearance of these large format retailers in India, really operated through a route like this. That means the manufacturers, they sent those goods or those goods were purchased by wholesalers, sometimes called C and F carry forward agents, and they supply it to the retailers. So, a wholesaler in Kanpur will be supporting retailers for almost the entire UP, eastern part of UP, and that is why Kanpur is a very large warehousing and wholesaling market for consumer products, staple products. These retailers can be even at multiple level. There can be a large retailer who will be supplying to the small pawn shops or small mom and pop stores, local stores, kirana stores as we call them. Then there can be another format which is actually the format of agent or broker. This often happens in industrial products. These agent or brokers, they often actually create the demand or seek out the demand or negotiate most elements of the purchase, and then it is fulfilled through a retailer. This is more like a distributor retailers. So, this particular stage breakup can have actually 3 stages or can have 2 stages. 3 stage will be something like this. That means there will be agent or brokers, and there will be people who will be there will be agent or brokers, there will be wholesalers, and then there will be retailers. These agent or in the last route, if you see, these agents or brokers, they can actually often that role may be played by employees of the organization or employees of the organization working in tandem with agents and brokers. So, their role is mainly to seek out, create the demand, and then the demand is fulfilled by this chain of wholesalers and retailers. So, as you see here, there can be a single stage, there can be 2 stage or 3 stage in this consumer product distribution. Against that, for industrial products or what we call B2B market, business to business market, there will be industrial distributors, but for something like say light fittings or domestic electrical products, we can again see this kind of 3 stage. So, if there is a large requirement at say IIT Kanpur for electrical products for a new building, There may be an agent or a broker or an intermediary who will do the bidding, tendering and all those sales functions. And then once the decision is made that all the electrical products will be from Larsen and Toubro, for example, or from Siemens or from Havells, then the distributors of Havells or distributors of Larsen and Toubro will fulfill the demand and supply it to IIT Kanpur, who in this case is an institutional or business customer. Sometimes of course in some products it can also be sold through a broker directly to the industrial or business consumer, and that is a case for certain high value items, and the money may flow actually directly from the buyer to the manufacturer with a commission to the agent or broker. So, which means in this case actually the agents or brokers do not purchase any item, they influence the purchase process, but the industrial distributors, they actually purchase the items from the manufacturers. So, the money flows from the customer to the distributor to the manufacturer. Obviously, at each stage the distributor will have a cut, they will have a commission. So, if this is 100, if the business customer pays 100, the distributor will pass on maybe 80 to the manufacturer, and of the 20 maybe 10 will be shared by the agent or the broker. So, that is how kind of what we call, that is why it is a value distribution across the chain. At different stages we have different value addition, or you can say value extraction, whichever way you look at it. We will discuss some further aspects about this distribution in our tomorrow's session. Thank you.